First things first, so look at the fucking new drip. Yes, sir. Alpha Takeshita, my GOAT. And there's no question about it. Yes, sir. Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today is Friday, September 26th, 2025, where I come to you with another edition of my favorite matches. Like I said in last week's edition, this is coming to you a day earlier than anticipated because I will be attending TNA's Victory Road. It's a fucking, they didn't fix the card, man. They did not fix this card, dude. The second best match on the show was going to be on the prelims, dude. I don't know what the fuck they're on about, but okay. Regardless of that, this is the series where I put together a list of all the best matches, in my opinion, from the last week or so, and then read them off to you here, recommending them all to you, and hopefully you go out and watch them and become a bigger fan of wrestling, because that's all I want from this world, dude. That's all I want. Can we all just become wrestling fans? It'd just be the greatest thing. It'd be such a joy to me. This is my compensation for not having any of those friends in real life. This is all just cope. This whole series is just cope from me. But anyways, regardless of all that, let's get into this list here, man. This was a decent week. There were some surprising matchups in here that I thought, wow, you know, some people put on some good matches here. I was kind of surprised. Let's start with the big events here from last Saturday. I'll just run through these pretty quickly. If you want more detail on all these, my reviews are up here, so you can go watch them after this. But from AEW's All Out, I'm going to give shoutouts to Adam Copeland and Christian Cage versus FTR, MJF versus Mark Briscoe in a Tax and Tables match, Okada versus Konosuke Takeshita versus Mascara Dorada, Mercedes Moné versus Rio, Darby Allin versus John Moxley in a Coffin match, Borodito versus Don Callis family versus Jet Speed versus the Young Bucks in a 4-way ladder match, and also Adam Page versus Kyle Fletcher. And then from Wrestlepalooza, I will give a shout out to Io Sky and versus Stephanie Vakir. Those are all my favorite matches from the two shows that we had over the past weekend. Let's get into the weekly TV scene. Not too much, but there was some prizes here. First of all, Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. What a surprise, dude. Like, you put women in the main event of your show and they put on a fantastic match, dude. Like, shocker, right? I know we're all shocked to see Rhea Ripley versus Asuka be actually really good. So, yeah. And then also, this one actually was a surprise, was Eric, Ivar, and Penta versus Grayson Waller and Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston in a no disqualification tag. This match was actually really fun as well. I love, like, all these guys are great. Eric and Ivar get to show a little bit. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston starting to pick up a little bit more momentum here, so that's nice to see. And yeah, fun match here. And then also from Dynamite, we have Hechicero, Kazuchika Okada, and my GOAT, Konosuke Takeshita versus Hologram, Mark Briscoe, and Orange Cassidy. Fun matches from all those guys here. On to the internationals scene here. A lot of stuff went down here, man. A lot of Lucha Libre. So let's get into this, man. Because CMLL had their 92nd anniversary event. So matches from that I want to shout out are Atlantis Jr., Mascara Dorada, and Neon versus Hechicero, Volador Jr., and Zendoken. We also have Esfinge versus Valiente in a mask versus mask match. That was really fun. And then Mystico versus MJF in a title versus mask for the CMLL World Light Heavyweight Championship. Fun stuff, man. What a war between those two guys, Mystico and MJF. That was brutal. That was awesome. And then MJF came back again, also put on like another great performance like less than 24 hours later. Great stuff from that show here. Also from CMLL, Domingo Familiar? Blue Panther versus Ultimo Guerrero. Turns out both those guys can still have an awesome match. It's surprising, dude. They're still going. They're still putting on bangers. They're still working their style really well. Yeah, so great stuff from them there. We also had Tokyo Joshi's Pro Wrestling Wrestle Princess 6, which gave us amazing matches like Hyper Misao and Shoko Nakajima versus Wakana Uhara and Yuki Kamifuku. I was going to say Kamifuji, but it's Kamifuku for the, what are the tag team championships called? They're tag team championships. I can't remember what they're called, but that was a fun match, as well as the main event between one of my new favorite Joshi wrestlers, Miyu Watanabe, and Mizuki, man. What a classic Joshi wrestling there. Super fun. Also from Noah in their N1 Victory 2025 Day 9 show, was Alejandro and Kai Fujimura versus Alpha Wolf and Dragon Bane. Alpha Wolf and Dragon Bane are super, super underrated guys. I love watching them compete in Noah. Those guys are real standouts over there. Love those guys. Also, from All Japan Pro Wrestling's Giant Dream event, we have Naoya Nomura and Yuma Aoyagi versus Ryuki Honda and Yuma Nzai. Good stuff there. From Sendai Girls Big Show in Sendai, we have Shichiro Hashimoto versus Maika Iwata. I'm not familiar with those two at all. Match got good reviews. I checked it out. I also agreed that this match is really good, so this one's worth watching as well. New Japan Pro Wrestling's Road to Destruction Day 10 gave us an amazing match between El Desperado and Yo. Again, El Desperado is also one of the most underrated guys in the wrestling world right now. He's one of the best junior heavyweights of all time, especially this decade. And he's really proving himself here with having this kind of a great match with Yo here. Yo is actually also really good. He's also very good here. Finally, rounding out the list of international events, we have El Barbaro Cavernario, Hechicero, and Valdar Jr. versus Mascara Dorada, Mystico, and Titan from CMLL, ex-Pokemon Leyendas Z through A, Noche de Leyendas. So, all great stuff happening elsewhere in the world of professional wrestling. You need to tap into all of these matches because I think they are fantastic. And you should do that, and you should listen to me. That's what you should do. From the vault, we have a pretty small list here, man. We have a few bangers, a few old ones, but some good wrestling here uploaded to YouTube from the last week. First off, we have Adam Page versus Chris Jericho from AEW All Out 2019, the foundation of the start of their lineage in the AEW World Championship. I just fucking waffled about there explaining that, but yeah. First match for the AEW World Championship between Chris Jericho and Adam Page. Still super young. A lot to show here for Adam Page, so good stuff there. From WCW, uploaded the full Fall Brawl 1995 event to their YouTube channel, which gave us the classic opener between Johnny B. Bad and Brian Pillman, going 30 minutes for a chance at the WCW United States Championship. I was not expecting this match to go as hard as it did, but Brian Pillman was one of the best wrestlers in the early 90s, so no surprise there. Johnny B. Bad himself can hold himself well against a great wrestler like Brian Pillman, so great match there. AEW also uploaded MJF versus Daniel Garcia from AEW's All Out 2024 event. A bit of a shame with what happened after Daniel Garcia in that feud. You think that's like one of those feuds that would elevate Daniel Garcia to another level, but nothing really came of that for him, unfortunately, aside of a forgetful TNT Championship run. WWE went fucking crazy this week, man. They uploaded Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 41, one of the best opening matches to a WrestleMania ever. Genuinely ever, and I think also probably the best women's match. Now, maybe not my favorite, but this is probably like objectively the best women matches they've ever had at WrestleMania. Fantastic fucking stuff. These are like the three. These are the three like goats right now in women's wrestling. And again, I'm really hoping Bianca Belair comes back soon. Woo! Another banger was FTR versus Aussie Open from AEW Wrestle Dream 2023. Super Dream match here. You know, they had such a good one. The New Japan Royal Quest the previous year. So again, the AEW audience to see all that stuff between these two teams was great. And then also Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins from WrestleMania 41. That's right, they just uploaded the full main event of WrestleMania onto their YouTube channel, and I know it's 52 minutes long, but trust me, this match is worth it. Very dramatic, very high stakes, very soap opera-esque. Awesome stuff here. I loved watching that one back. Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton from NXT No Mercy 2023 to celebrate their upcoming No Mercy show, which is why we're not getting any NXT wrestlers at Victory Road, except for fucking Ridge Holland. Anyway, Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton, no DQ match, super fun here. Becky Lynch proven why she's one of the best women's wrestlers ever, and Tiffany Stratton being able to hold her own and being able to excel her own star power in this match, make herself look really good against someone like Becky Lynch is really awesome. Johnny Gargano versus Cassius Ohno was uploaded along with the full episode of NXT December 6th, 2017. That match is is a banger. Those guys hit each other very hard, very physical match, really awesome, worth watching. Triple H versus Steve Austin from WWE No Mercy 99. Super fun brawl from the Attitude Era. It's everything I expect out of those two guys. It's again they have very underrated chemistry, I think, in the grand scheme of things. I think a lot of people remember their 2001 feud and then them teaming up to have some good matches, but people kind of forget about this one, this short-lived rivalry before Steve Austin had to go and have neck surgery. This was a really fun match too, worth watching. I'll go over let's go over this first. NXT continues their uploads in chronological order of all their takeover events, or if they're big events, because this is the last takeover event. NXT TakeOver 36 featuring, Walter versus Ilya Dragunov 2. I talked about the first match a couple weeks ago, I want to say. It was a few weeks ago. And this is everything from that first match, but now in front of fans. Super dramatic, super physical, super just barely getting through. Both guys taking each other to the limit. Super classic David versus Goliath stuff. It's awesome. It's fantastic. Also from that event was Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole in a 2 out of 3 falls match. A bit more avant-garde than many of their other matches. It's very dramatic. It's almost to a fault, but it's still a match worth watching just because they're great in-ring work and they're great in-ring chemistry. And then finally, AEW uploaded 3 matches from Grand Slam 2024, all of them worth checking out. Those being Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness, Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher versus the Young Bucks for the Tag Team Championships, and Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin, number 1 contendership for the World Championship. All certified bangers, dude. That was a great show. That was one of the best Dynamites ever. One of the best Dynamites ever that they put on. Had all 3 of those fantastic matches worth watching on. Danielson versus McGuinness is so fucking cool to see in 2024. And then, the other 2 matches are awesome as well. That's going to do it for me, man. That's my list. That's all there is to it. I'm trying to figure out. I'm not wasting as much time, I think sitting through 20 minutes of watching you guys just talk about matches, kind of waffling a little bit too much, isn't as good of content, but 14 minutes is. So that is my list. Those are all the matches I recommend from this last week that you guys should go check out. Here's a playlist. Here's my playlist for all the matches I talked about from YouTube. If you want to watch all those matches, they're right here on this playlist right here. Here's a video that YouTube thinks you will like from me. Right here, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I think you should, because you get more content like this. But that's going to do it for me, guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.